What's going on, everybody? Dragonius back at it again with another video for you guys. Today we're doing Halo Wars 2, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to build decks in Blitz mode. So Blitz mode is very cool. It utilizes packs that you get from completing missions, leveling up, or you can just straight up buy them. You have deck masters, and I'm gonna make a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh references, and if you enjoyed playing Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid, or if you have fond memories of the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, then you're in luck, because I'm going to be making a lot of references to that, because there's a lot of similarities in how you go about building a deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! And being successful, and that correlates very much to how you build a deck here. You now have 7 deck masters, or leaders, to choose from, and each of them have their own speciality listed on the bottom here. So for example, if you're going with Isabel, she deploys the latest UNSC vehicle tech to great advantage and distracts enemies with AI blah 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 blah. It can be useful to kind of give you an idea of how to play as them, but I feel that these ideas of how to do stuff are going to be more useful if you get more exclusive cards for them, which there are exclusive cards for certain characters, or later on in the game where you're playing Stronghold or other modes besides Blitz, where different deck masters have different leader powers. That's where I think it really comes in handy. As far as deck masters go, Cutter seems to be very basic, but there's a lot to him as a deck master. So this is his default deck. As you can see, we start off our army with a Phoenix. That's what it's called. In reality, it's 1 Nightingale and 2 Marine units. Nightingale, of course, is your healer unit, and in this deck we have Hellbringers, Marines, Cyclopses, Wolverines, Nightingale, Warthog, Hornet, yada yada yada. One of the cool things about this is that if you see something like this, an ODST drop or Archer Missiles, see how they have the little special emblem on the bottom? That means it's deck master or leader exclusive. So if I inspect the card, you can literally see right there the star, leader restriction, Captain Cutter. No matter what, only Cutter is able to use Archer Missiles, which is cool. But we're going to hit A to edit his deck, and the first thing I like to do is you hit Y, and you can usually get 1 or 2 different options. So you'll see that his Raider option is nice, because his Raider option starts you off with 3 Warthogs. Warthogs are fast moving, not as fast as the Jackrabbit, but they do pack more of a punch, and they do have more health to them. Or I can stick with the Phoenix. Now I like the option of the Phoenix because it starts me with the Nightingale, which means with the Nightingale I can have healing options, so that at the first jump of the map, I can spawn a couple other units, and those units will have the Nightingale benefits of healing, so I can be a little more aggressive in the early game. That's my playstyle choice, so I'm going to build a deck around that playstyle, starting with the army. Next thing we're going to go through, we're going to check out all of our cards here. Now you'll take a look and you'll see all the cards have different numbers underneath them. So the Hellbringer, for example, it's 3. That's its level. As you level up cards by getting more of them, you actually get the ability to have more buffs to them. So, whereas a Hellbringer is never going to have any ability to do anything to air units, its overall health will increase and damage will increase. Similar to Veterancy, but that also still exists in Blitz mode the longer you have a card, which you get more perks for them. But essentially, the more cards you get, the stronger your cards are, the better off you are, the more powerful you are. You get where I'm going with this. As far as all the cards that I have, Hellbringers I'm not too fond of, because while they're good against infantry, they're good against little else. In the campaign, Hellbringers are really good units because you often come across infantry. But infantry is also really susceptible to vehicles, and so even though it's a 10, which means that it's very easy to just, bam, summon them, I'm not too fond of Hellbringers. The same thing to be said for Jackrabbits. They're really good for movement, but they also, the ones that I have, don't have any effects, so I really don't want them. Any units that you see down here that have an effect like this Extractor where it says Siphon, that's going to be a good thing to have, because it means it has a special perk on top of whatever its unit is. So for this one specifically, not only do I have Grenade Throws because it's a Marine unit, but the specific type of weapons this Marine unit carries will allow them to siphon health based on how much damage they deal to your enemy. I find that to be very useful, and so I like to have them around in a lot of cases. Regular Marines are nice, especially if you just want to quickly put them down and have them run after energy. They're really good. Note, energy can only be collected by ground units. Air units, like Hornets or any air unit, cannot collect energy that's on the ground. Cyclopses are another unit where they don't affect air, and you tend to see a lot of air going out there, but they're good against vehicles. So I like to have them around, especially because for 30 points, that's a really quick card to just bam, play. Never go wrong with a Nightingale. Warthogs are cool. Wolverines are pretty good. I'm 50-50 on them, but what I like about this unit of Wolverines is that it has Detect. So it'll reveal nearby cloaked enemies, and when you go up against banished players, a lot of them have cloaked Reavers or cloaked Locusts, and those can be dangerous if you can't shoot them and kill them. The Wolverine helps that, and it's really good against air units, so I like that about it. Regular Hornets, I can't go wrong, because if you have a Nightingale with them, they're set. The ODST drop is really cool, and of course I'm going to use that because I would be playing as Cutter. Our special as Cutter, one of the legendaries that I do have, is Jerome. So I do have the ability to summon a Spartan, and I like that, because Jerome has Rush and Shield. So natively, as a Spartan, he has a shield to protect himself, and it regenerates over time as long as he doesn't take too much damage. Not to mention, Jerome, as any Spartan does, has the ability to do a Spartan Slam, which allows him to take control of enemy vehicles. Really useful. So I definitely would want him in this deck for sure, and his cost of 220 compared to other legendaries is not that high. The Vulture is another option that I really do like, much more than the Kodiak. So we've modified the deck a little bit. We've gone through and we're aware of what we have. Archer Missiles is another thing we have that I do like, and the more cards you get, the more options you get. But this is just a basic kind of overview and kind of getting you into the mindset of what playstyle do I want to be going for. So to take a look at our deck now, we're going to start with the Phoenix, so we're going to start with a Nightingale and 2 Marine units, and our main cards consist of Marines, Cyclopses, Wolverines, Nightingales, Warthogs, Hornets, ODST drops. Over 100, we have Archer Missiles, Scorpion, Trooper Hornet, as well as a Vulture, and then Jerome. And the Trooper Hornet is, I didn't show you guys, it's interesting, it has Last Stand 3 on it. So when it falls, I get a Marine unit. So if this Trooper Hornet dies, I get a bonus Marine unit, on top of the fact that the Trooper Hornet is better at fighting infantry, perfect for vehicles, and great for air. So it's a good all-around. And again, with a Nightingale, Hornets last a little bit longer. And that's a level 2, so it does a little bit more damage, or it has a bit more buff to it. So that's pretty cool. And if you hit right trigger on the Xbox One, you can check out your average level. So your average level, it's about 1.8, and your unit counters, so it shows you, what you're going to be okay at handling. And then your energy cost, so how much things cost, as well as your distribution of cards is important. How many units you have versus how many powers you have. You can do an all or nothing, but again, it's a case by case based on, one, how many cards you have and what type of cards you have, what level they are. And that's all one category, I feel. And the other is your playstyle, what you're trying to do. So my playstyle is going to be very simple. It's something where I want to make sure I can have a lot of troops out, build an army, and keep an army. That's what the Nightingales are for, helping you to keep that army. The rest is up to how you play. But I hope that kind of gives you guys an idea of what you guys should be looking at. Just for a quick example, if you guys want me to do deck builds per leader, I could definitely do that for you guys. Leave comments in the description below if this helped you out. Give me a thumbs up. That would always be perfectly welcomed. And if anything else, guys, I hope this helped you guys. I really do. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And until next time, I've been your host, Jagronius, and I'll see you all on the next episode of whatever I do. Toodles!